Ladies, what is your reaction to this historical evening?
It's a marvel. And it happened on my 85th birthday, so I'm really delighted.
Happy birthday!
Yes, yes, yes. And I enjoyed this.
This is the city's griot. This is Mary Carter Smith.
It's a pleasure to meet you.
Thank you. Good to meet all of you, too.
Tell me a little bit about yourself.
Well, I am a storyteller. I go to Austria and France, Africa, the Caribbean, and I've done this for about 40 years. So I was on WEAA radio for 24 years as a volunteer every Saturday morning, a storyteller. And my autobiography is coming out February 27th.
I wish it the best of luck. How did you feel about seeing the story told in this historic space?
Oh, I loved it. It was just such a thrill to see this place restored, and I love Baltimore. So it means it's a positive step for Baltimore. Yes, to bring people back downtown.
And your reaction, ma'am?
I loved it. We were just saying the actors and the actresses were dynamite. They could do a little bit of everything, but it was a great show, and I was so glad to be here as her guest.
And what is your name?
I'm Joan Stevenson, and I'm her cousin.
Ladies, it's a pleasure to meet you both. Thank you so much for your time. Jess Italian.
Okay. And what is this for?
This is for Top of the World. It's Top of the Morning.
Top of the
It's from the
Morning.
top of the World Trade Center.
I've appeared there.
Okay, top of the morning to you.
Same to you.
Yes.
I've appeared there several times at Top of the World, telling stories. Yes, so I know it. It's a beautiful place.
Something tells me you have many stories to tell.
Yes, she
Yes.
does. Yes, she does.
I can stand for 12 hours without stopping.
I would have to put on more comfortable shoes.
Yes, yes, yes. And we'll have to let you know when she's doing something so you two can come.
Thank you.
Yes.
You are the griot of Maryland and Baltimore.
That's right.
What is a griot?
A griot is a word that comes from Africa. It's a French word that tells about the person who remembers the stories and the history and the songs and passes them on from one generation to another.
And we all have stories like that in our own families, don't we? So if we think about it, our stories, our personal stories and stories of our family and people in the world are very important. And Mary Carter Smith is one of the great storytellers of anywhere. And she's been telling stories for many, many years. And today she also has a special song for us about the story she said about John Henry.
Now, I told the story of John Henry, and here is one of the many songs. There are over 50 written about John Henry. And this drum came from Africa, as did my dress. When John Henry was a little baby. We're not going to clap it first. Let me sing the song through, and then we'll clap at the next time, okay? All right. When John Henry was a little baby, a-settin' on his pappy's knee, he picked up a hammer and a little piece of steel and said, "This hammer's gonna be the death of me, Lord, Lord. This hammer's gonna be the death of me." The captain said to John Henry, "I'm gonna bring a steam drill down. I'm gonna take that steam drill out on the job. I'm gonna beat that steel on down, Lord, Lord. Beat that steel on down." John Henry hammered on the mountain till his hammer was a striking fire. He hammered so hard that he broke his poor heart, and he died with his hammer in his hand, Lord, Lord. He died with his hammer in his hand. John Henry had a pretty woman, and she always dressed in red. She walked down the track, never looking back, and said, "I'm going to where my man is laying dead, Lord, Lord. I'm going to where my man is laying dead." They took John Henry to the graveyard, and they buried him in the sand. Now every time a train goes by, it says, "There lies a steel driving man, Lord, Lord. There lies a steel driving man." Now, I'd like you to help me with this song, and I'd like you to clap your hands whenever I hit the drum, but not until I hit the drum, okay? When John Henry was a little baby, sitting on his pappy's knee, he picked up a hammer and a little piece of steel and said, this hammer's gonna be the death of me, Lord, Lord. This hammer's gonna be the death of me. John Henry hammered on the mountain till his hammer was a striking fire. He hammered so hard that he broke his poor heart, and he died with his hammer in his hand, Lord, Lord. He died with his hammer in his hand. John Henry had a pretty woman, and she always dressed in red. She walked down the track, but never looking back, and said, I'm going to where my man is laying dead, Lord, Lord. I'm going to where my man is laying dead. They took John Henry to the graveyard, and they buried him in the sand. Now every time the train goes by, it says, there lies a steel driving man, Lord, Lord. There lies a steel driving man. What's his name? John Henry! Right. Oh,
thank
you're
you
wonderful.
so much.
Good.
Yes, did you want to say something? Okay, well, we'll do that, and we'll be right back with more on the Children's Corner. And thank you again, Mary Carter Smith,
You're
for a
welcome.
beautiful sharing with us today at the Children's
You're
Corner.
welcome.
And to everyone in the audience, don't forget, remember your stories.
The major purpose of this work is to show how early Black caregivers use spirituality in their work with Black people, in their struggle to achieve racial justice and gender equality, and in their efforts to create a truly democratic society. Spirituality gave Black people the strength to go on when there were threats to their very existence, self-worth, and dignity. When oppressive forces were seeking to strip them of their humanity, hope when there seemed to be none, a way when there was no way, and even joy when confronted by nothing but a daily rhythm of hardship, frustration, and pain. In the face of the most demoralizing circumstances, spirituality gave Black people both courage and encouragement, and even in the midst of suffering and death, it gave them a will to live and the determination to make life worth living. Historically, Black spirituality was expressed in countless ways, such as through singing, dancing, moaning, mourning, affirming, worshiping, contemplating, reflecting. However, most importantly, it was expressed in the way people lived their lives and in the reverence and respect they had for life. Black people historically spoke of spirituality in terms of lifting the spirit, of finding that divine spark that would motivate them to keep on keeping on. That's our Mother Mary. That's our Mother Mary.
I ain't shy, but it's kind of warm up here. You know, sometimes when you're in television studios, they're very arrogant. You know, you're blessed to be here, so hurry up. I said, Mrs. Smith, do you know a short story? I do. Paul loved Mom. Mom loved me. Suppose we who happen to believe in the Christian religion, suppose we are wrong. What do we have to lose? But suppose you believe the religion, but you just don't choose to follow it. And suppose we're right. That's a chance you have to take. But all I can say is, I accept you wherever you are, whatever you are. I'm not bothering me and nobody else. Then I'll fight you too. You know, I come from the ghettos of Alabama and Youngstown, Ohio, and West Virginia. You know, we have black hillbillies. My cousin Joan over there is another one. She was born in West Virginia. And we will fight. I should say I used to fight, but I can't say I used to fight. Somebody bothers me now, I'll kick now and pray and ask forgiveness later.
But this has been a rare treat. And I'll leave you with one story, not going to be too long. Rex Ellis, he's a doctor, Rex Ellis, you know, he's the, we all black in here. He's HNIC down in Williamsburg. If you leave him, that's your fault. Rex Ellis wrote this story and dedicated it to me. And I chose it. I didn't have time to really relearn it, but I hope anyway, I remember what I came with it. And I bring it to you with love. It's called The Mother's Love by Rex Ellis. In that strange time after slavery and before true freedom began, there lived an old colored woman named Mary. She lived with her son on a little place in a small village, farming place, a little village in the country. And they raised some of their own crops in the garden, raised almost everything they ate. And Mary was a seamstress, and she also did laundry for some of the white folks, and only made a few dollars a month, but not for herself and her son. His name was Jesse. They moved there from Savannah after slavery, and Jesse grew to be a nice looking young man. Her friend would say, "Oh, Mary, you got a handsome son." And Mary's friends would bring their daughters back as an excuse to visit, and so they could get to meet Jesse. And Jesse was a friendly young man, and he wasn't impolite to any of them. And so he kind of enjoyed being, kind of dandy, he wasn't there. And there was one girl, her name was Suki. And she really was infatuated with Jesse. Every day, on her way home from the fields, she'd stop by the house just to get the chance to look at Jesse. Sometimes she would hide in the woods across from their house, just to watch Jesse when he would come out. And to look at him was enough for her. And Jesse was nice to everybody. So one day, Suki finally got up enough nerve to come and talk to Jesse. When he answered her politely, it was cordial, she took that to mean that he felt toward her like she felt toward him. So old Suki got so jealous. If she saw any other girl talking to Jesse, she drove them away. Now Jesse got kind of tired of that, One day he confronted her. He said, "Suki, I can see who I want and talk to who I please. I don't have no feelings for you like you have for me. Now go ahead and leave me alone. Leave me be." Now Suki was a strong young woman, but she broke into tears at this. She ran away. She couldn't take it any longer. Jesse said, I guess I told her. Well, Jesse would go into town a good ways away, only about once a week, usually on Sunday, after church. He would hightail into town, have a couple of hours to spend with his girl, the different girls he was escorting around, and then get back home before dark, because Mary loved him so much. She clung to him. He was the last of her family. Everybody else was gone. She couldn't bear him out of her sight much. So he would always try to get home before dark on Sunday. Well, one Sunday, dark came, and Jesse still hadn't come home. 2 hours passed. Jesse hadn't come home. And Mary went next door to a house that wasn't too far away, and a widow lived there named Joe Smith. And he was glad that Mary came by and contacted him, because he'd been glad when they moved in this little community.
but he didn't want to be too forward. And he wanted to honor his dear wife's memory. His wife had been dead for a year now. He said, now, I can begin to talk to Mary Ann Ernest. He was glad to greet her. She said, well, hitch up the way. Because Jesse ain't come home. And take me into town. I'm going to look for him. So he hitched up the mule to the wagon, and they started out into town. It was a moonlit night. They were going along. He was trying to talk to Mary, but she wasn't paying much attention. She just said, And sometimes it was like she was fussing at somebody, like it was Jesse, but Jesse wasn't even there. Well, they got into Creswell, almost into the town, and the road was winding near a creek. And Jesse had told her that this path was where he liked to walk with his girlfriends on Sunday afternoon. Close enough that people were passing by, and also open enough so it wasn't indecent to be seen walking with a young lady there. And she thought that Jesse might be there. So she was in the wagon, and they turned. That was as far as the wagon could go. And she got ready to get down. She said, sure. Look up there in the path ahead of us by the creek. There's something in that path. He said, I don't see nothing there. He looked more closely. He did see something. He said, you wait here, waiting in the wagon, and I'll go and see what it is. He walked over there and went up that path. As he came closer, he saw it was a human form lying there, but motionless. When he came very close and looked down, he saw it was Jesse. And there was blood under his head. And he turned around, and Mary called out, what'd you see? He said, nothing. She said, yes, you did. He came back and said, come on, Mary, get in the wagon. We got to get the sheriff. Come on. No, I don't want to know what you saw over there. No, Mary, don't go up there. She said, I don't want to see you. And he tried to hold her from going up there. But she got loose from him. And she went up there. She went up. And at first she looked down. And she said, Jesse, get up, Jesse. You sleeping, Jesse? You want to sleep? Jesse, get up. Then she looked, and she saw the blood under his head. His head hit that unruly cut off tree, the stump. And she looked. Jesse! Oh my God! What have they done to my child? Jesus! Jesus! Oh, they done to my child. Hours turn to days, days turn to weeks, weeks turn to months, and Mary's depression was so deep. Had been her neighbor, Mr. Smith, I think she would have died of grief. But he came over and visited her. They would eat dinner together. He would fix sometimes, then she would fix a little food. They would go to church together. About a year had passed since Jesse
after Jesse's death. And the sheriff had ruled Jesse's death an accident. And really, he wasn't interested. No. When a black woman killed a black man, it wasn't of much interest. Sure, just a silly accident. And besides, Suki was a good work hand. She was a good field hand. She could do the work of 2 men. So why should she go to jail for a silly accident? She could be earning her own pay. So Suki got no jail time. But she suffered. She was punished. Nobody in town would have anything to do with her. No matter how much an accident the sheriff may have thought it was, they knew how consumed she was with Jesse. And they suspected something had happened. And then some people had seen on the day that Jesse was walking that Sunday, on that day, they saw Jesse walking over there. And Suki came up to him and confronted him. And in her pain and humiliation, she began to argue with him. And he tried to turn his back, but she grabbed his hand to get his attention, wanted him to listen to her. And she pushed him. And he fell. Was killed instantly. Well, Mary was so unhappy that she began to get a little more peace, and she married Mr. Smith, who lived in the house next to hers. And one day, she was sitting on the porch sewing. She said, I gotta go. Got up, and she put her sewing down. And she walked off the porch. She said, where you going, woman? She said, up here. He said, let me go with you. She said, no, this is something I've got to do for myself. There were some questions in her mind that had never been answered. And she walked up to where the field hands were working. Walked to the field where she knew Suki was working. And Suki was bending over, working in the field. And her back was tired. She leaned up to rest her back, and she looked, and there, coming up the corner, on the corner of the field, she saw the figure of a person coming. As the figure came closer, she saw it was Jesse's mom, Mary. They'd never spoken, never acknowledged her since Jesse's death. And here she was, coming towards her. Suki didn't know whether to run or whether to stay. Mary walked right up to her, looked her straight in the eye and said, "You the one who killed my child, ain't you?" And Suki fell to her knees. She said, "Yes, sir." She said, "Yes, sir." But what do you mean? She said, pushed him, he fell. She said, "I love Jesse. I love Jesse more than I love my own life. I would never hurt Jesse." She said, "Yes, yeah, I killed him. But I didn't mean to do it." Mary looked down at her. She said, "You've been grieving too, ain't you? So I ain't got no more tears left. I can't grieve no more." And she reached down and she took hold of Suki and helped her to stand up.
and they began talking. They walked together out of that field, still talking. They talked away in the night. And after that, after Mary and Mr. Smith married, Suki moved in with them. She was like a daughter to Mary. We could sometimes walk by that house. You would see Joe sitting in one chair, Mary in the other, Suki sitting close by with her head in Mary's lap, while she smoothed her brow. She'd be singing, soon and very soon, we are going to see the King. Oh, soon and very soon. When we get there, Mary Suki took care of both of them until they died. When Mary died, she was the last one of the two to die. She left all she owned to Suki. And they tell me now, Suki died before World War II. The house is empty. They tell me on some dark night, when they're passing by, they hear a song. Soon and very soon, we are going to see the King. Soon and very soon, we are going to see the King. Soon and very soon, we are going to see the King. Hallelujah, hallelujah, we're going to see the King.
Now we're at that point in the program when the reason, besides honoring Mama Mary, that we really came. Mama Mary has self-published a book, a tale that is told, and we especially had no charge for this program so that you could freely go into your pocket, come over to this table, and purchase one of her books. We'd like to thank you for coming out. There'll be some refreshments in the back for y'all while y'all line up